pro basic income.
Oh, in like the current like wave of interest.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Thomas Paine has treatise on universal income.
Oh, Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
You look a bit different now.
I do?
Yeah.
In what way?
You just look different.
I haven't shaved in a couple days.
So Monty said you look exactly the same though.
Yeah, well, so maybe it's, you know what, maybe it's an effect of being in the midst of our old peers. So, like, maybe I look the same in terms of, like, I was still recognizable, whereas, like, certain people, like...
Oh, yeah, so Monty didn't seem... want to come to your office first?
Yeah,
where is it?
So I don't actually have an office. But we can go to my department.
Oh, which building is it?
It's Prospect House.
Prospect House is close by.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I was just realizing that I feel like much happier after coming back here every time I visit. It's like, I don't know. It's just the memories are like really strong still. It's like this place doesn't change while I've changed a lot. But there has changed a lot. Like Ferris and Holland, we got renovations. I just borrowed them. Yeah, Jeffrey Unigid is Sonia's writing professor.
He was whose?
Sonia Joseph. Sonia's my new closest friend now.
Oh, okay. My mom gave me one of his books when I graduated.
Really? What made your mom like him so much?
I think that she just heard that it was good. But I didn't, because my mom...
At least these RIPTA bus schedules have changed.
They have changed?
Yes, they have definitely changed since the last time I came. I need to photograph them. Bus schedules are like so underrated. It's
Did you hear that they're thinking of getting rid of the...
Free RIPTA?
The fact that they talk? No. Because you know how the buses talk here? They're like, now...
Oh, wait. I remember the time when they didn't even have those, and that's on the KCLS Metro. Why are they getting rid of it?
Because it's like, it wakes up some people.
Oh, wow. Interesting. And I guess if they really want, they could just create cell phone apps for alerting them, though it doesn't effectively happen anyways.
That's true. It's also
yeah. So along the way of walking here, I basically passed by the Slavery Center, and I was like, whoa, I've never saw this place. Maybe I should just go in.
Did you go in?
Yeah, I did.
I took a class there like a year and a half ago. What did you think?
It was like, this is what Brown is known for, so...
This is what Brown is known for?
This is one of the things...
It's true. It's really small, isn't it?
It's not that small. Yes, all the main campus buildings are really small, and I think this is one reason why it doesn't feel like much happier. It doesn't feel happier here because everything is just really, really close and accessible. And whenever
why you're happy here?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the architecture of the bookstore more than I like the architecture of the Harvard or MIT bookstores.
Yes.
It's like because you have chairs to listen. I also like the university bookstore. Like the university bookstore UW was honestly much better to spend time in than Harvard MIT. Same with Odegaard. I like Odegaard more than.
That's great.
Yeah, Odegaard beats any Ivy League Ivy League undergraduate library I've been in.
I think that the system of libraries too is like Harvard's okay, I guess.
Harvard, you need a friend to get you access to the actual undergrad Lamont library.
I've got a... Ooh.
How?
Because of my ground, I think it's Iliad, through Iliad.
Iliad?
Yeah, it's like the interlibrary.
The interlibrary loan?
It's either Iliad or because of my Brown affiliation.
I never knew this was possible.
One of the partnerships allows me to get library cards at any of the Ivies. Or any of the major New England...
Holy shit, so you actually can get a library card. And the ID card they can actually use to sneak into the buildings or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck! Lucky you. Can you get the MIT one too?
I don't know, I haven't tried.
I know Jane Hunt got one. Is this like the Jewish Center on campus? Hillel. Wow, have we ever been there before?
That's where I pick up my my vegetables every Thursday.
Oh my god, I want to go and I've never been there.
Alright, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I remember I've been to Princeton's. I've never been to Harvard's yet, even though Harvard's is like, I don't know.
Hillel?
Yeah. They all have one.
I've been to the one at UW.
I've never knew that UW even had it.
I think every university does.
Senior purchase in the library.
That was the final project.
So now in your 4th year. 5th. Damn, time passes so fast.
Yeah, it really does. Do you want to go upstairs?
Yeah. Yeah, so how was our high school reunion? Because I kept on prodding for details to that.
It was nice. I heard Kathy lost a lot of money.
Kathy Fan?
Yeah.
For organizing it?
She organized it, and then she didn't really rationalize the way that tickets were being bought and counted.
Uh-huh.
And so someone like Bryce Siegel walked up and just grabbed a big stack of drink tickets
Uh-huh.
and like drank for free.
Did people like him less because of it?
Huh? No,
Did
people liked him more, I think.
Oh.
I think people just thought it was goofy without understanding that they were like
Uh-huh.
depriving Kathy as a result of like, I think that she ended up losing like around like $3,000 because of it. And then she asked for like people to voluntarily.
Did they?
I'm sure that some people, I'm sure it didn't cover the $3,000.
Yeah.
She also makes lots and lots of money.
Yeah, as an org company, and I think people are a little bit less sympathetic to her of they think she can afford to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I was saying, I think that Samanti probably thinks I don't look too different because I'm so recognizable.
Yeah, Samanti wasn't recognizable at first, but then I could see the contours of her face.
Oh, I thought that Samanti looked pretty similar.
She said that, no, I mean, she said you look similar, you look the same, so a lot of people didn't. I'm probably the one who changed the least.
Yeah, Shuba, really.
Yeah, and people say that a lot. And yeah, I was wondering who I should talk to, in fact, and...
You spoke to him?
No, I haven't, but I should. Yeah, I spoke to Jacob Kalman over Facebook. He's actually, like, yeah. Like...
Does he live in Atlanta now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in the end... I don't know.
I don't know, some people, like, a lot of people seem to have just sort of settled into pretty, like, standard, like, they become engineers in the area.
Engineers? But Inglewood doesn't even produce that many engineers.
Or, like, doing computer science, or...
Uh-huh. I mean, Inglewood doesn't even produce that many people who major in computer science.
Was it not?
Not a huge amount.
Well, I think that there's probably selection.
I mean, yeah, there's...
For the people who were showing up at the...
Mm-hmm. Oh, showing up.
And also the people that I know, like the IB people. It was like, I was really surprised at how many people I'd forgotten.
Uh-huh. You have forgotten a lot of them, really?
Yeah, like someone like Shelley, for example.
Shelley Schonstad?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or even like, so I went to elementary school with KT Roberts. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember Katie Roberts. She was in my math class in 7th grade. It's interesting, actually. It will be instituted a memory test on asking people who they remember from, say, 7th grade or 8th grade or 9th grade. Or
it would be interesting to
can you list everyone from an English class or math class from 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade onward?
Yeah, that would be really difficult. I think if there was a quiz with like pictures of faces, I could probably get the names.
Yeah.
For a good deal of them. There were some people that, I think that there were like sort of two populations were like sort of like IB kids, and then also just sort of like people who live in the area and are sort of doing whatever. Like I met David White. Do you remember David White? Oh, the clown. Yeah. And he was one of the last people to get the award in Galloway's class. Oh, what was the award in Galloway's class?
Student of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I remember Jacob was first. He got the quiz right, and it was all the star kids first, and towards the end...
It was like participation awards?
Yes.
So David White, he builds decks with his brother now.
Decks of what?
Decks, like porches. I don't know, I had sort of a weird experience because I brought my partner with me
Uh-huh.
who's visiting.
Well, do we have a room? I want to wait for this to cool down.
We can. You want to go across the? Do you want to go to like the student center, like across the street, or do you want to go back upstairs?
We can go upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I feel much happier at Brown with you around because you're like a really good source of comfort, and you're also like stable friend.
Oh, thanks.
We can go here too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, because Brown, when I came there, was mostly unfamiliar territory. I didn't really know anyone. I wasn't really close to anyone.
Yeah.
So. 5 minutes? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll drink this first.
Yeah, we'll be gone really fast.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm sorry to miss you back home.
Yeah.
David said he had a really nice time going to. He said he went to dinner at your house and.
Yeah. So for the first time, I finally invited him. It was so overdue.
And. Yeah, he said that there was a girl staying with too.
Yeah.
Who was visiting from the East Coast.
Yeah.
That's not the same person who studied with Jeffrey Eugenides.
What?
It's not the same person who studied with Jeffrey Eugenides.
No, Sonia's different.
Okay.
Sonia's born from Princeton.
She's from Princeton, and
She lives in Boxborough. She's my closest friend now.
She lives in Foxborough?
Boxborough.
Oh, where's Boxborough?
Metro West.
Do
you often go to places with David, like random places in Massachusetts?
Random
places in Massachusetts.
I think that like when we lived together, that was much more often the case.
1010 Massachusetts Avenue.
Yeah. It's been it's.
Yeah, I miss that place.
Yeah, it was really nice. Good location. I kind of like the semi-subterranean apartments too, you know.
What?
Like semi-subterranean.
Subterranean?
Yeah, because like, you know, David's room, he only had those windows at the top because it was next to the.
Oh yeah, I remember you all lived in the basement, and I remember.
Yeah, and so I think it regulates temperature better.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you still living at the same place in
Yeah,
Cambridge?
yeah.
Yeah, I just visited David in November at his new place. I stayed there. He's like in Inman Square, I guess.
His old place was in Inman Square.
I guess he didn't move that far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he showed me. He said that you go to the Broad sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Where would you say you spend your time, like percentage-wise?
Mostly
for the week?
home.
Yeah.
And more at Harvard.
Yeah, I've been spending time at Harvard. I guess I was there for a week in November.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause my partner used to live in Porter Square, and I would go to I'd go to like some library somewhere and work.
Do you ignore other people more when you're with your partner?
Yeah, I think especially towards the end because she's at Stanford now, and so we were sort of.
What do you mean by towards the end? Oh, because she's in Stanford now.
Before she moved, we were trying to sort of maximize time together, and that had a crowding out effect. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to your office now.
Okay. How was your tea?
It was okay.
There's hot water at my
apartment
if you want to save your bags.
Yeah.
Healthcare or anything?
Yeah, I'm finally like bring my Ultrabook around more because it allows me to be more super flexible. So I'm gonna go out much more. Bye. Especially because I function much better when I'm coffee and tea and.
On coffee and tea?
Yeah. I'm also a slow metabolizer of caffeine, interestingly enough.
Is there are there ways of like building up, like if you ingest more caffeine, do you become a slower or a quicker metabolizer of it?
You don't be, or you can become tolerant, but if you become tolerant, that's when you can switch to amphetamines for a while.
Yeah. So you alternate so they could
Yeah.
potent.
I'm not good at alternate yet, but I really should be doing better.
I don't really.
I've never visited the Department of English.
It's a nice building. It's really strange because it's very like sleek and modern on this main floor, and then if you go up one floor, it becomes very like opulent and like Victorian. They're like very thick carpets and big couches. It's a nice place to work. They normally have like a lot of food in them.
Oh, you scout out the free food places.
I used to be much better about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Actually, Brown feels more magical to me these days, like literally.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I miss the place, but also like the architecture is more modern than Harvard or MIT a lot of times. Not modern. It's just maybe it's a small feel or. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, there's something about it.
Have you ever visited H.P. Lovecraft's old home?
Just up around the corner, you mean, or where?
Fonts. You're not. H.P. Lovecraft. No, H.P. Lovecraft used to live in Providence.
Yeah. But so in Wayland Square, there's a plaque that says that he was born near this space, but there's no home. Is there an actual birth home?
I don't know.
Oh no. Yeah, So actually, so Brown offers a $10,000 grant for people who do work on Lovecraft. And so I decided I would like read some Lovecraft stories and see if I could like try to turn it into a paper or something. $10,000.
Did you?
No, I couldn't. I liked At the Mountains of Madness. But I didn't think like it was like the time and energy that I would need to put into it. It would be worth $10,000, but I would have to include the opportunity cost of losing time on my dissertation.
Okay.
Oh, this camera's new.
Any other changes in your life plans or PhD plans?
Well, yeah, I was kind of I had sort of a bad year last year.
Oh.
I wasn't really as productive as I needed to be. And so I've just sort of in the last maybe 5 months I finally started to get back together. Yeah, I was just I had really bad insomnia. I wouldn't sleep for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Because of what again?
Just because of I think anxiety and stress about.
Do you get along with your PhD advisor well?
Well, we got along, but I was really intimidated by her, and she was nothing but really helpful. She suggested therapy to me, and she started Skyping with me every day.
Oh, okay.
Do work, but even still,
I have never been to the poli-sci department. Yeah, I think the departments here seem to be a little bit more homely. You have all these couches here.
That's true, yeah.
Making policy.
This used to be the seminar room. But it didn't really make sense to have this central room with 2 entrances be the seminar room, so they changed it.
Which areas of poli-sci is Brown strong in?
In theory.
Theory, yeah.
Yeah, so most departments have one.
John Tomasi, I remember that you were into him.
Yeah, I TA for him a lot. Most departments have 1 to 4. 1 maybe 4 max. So Ferris and Brown.
Ferris Lupino.
Oh yeah, there I am. You're filming everything.
Yeah, because I realize I'm not gonna. I really regret not doing this movie earlier because we're going to regret. Because 50 years from now, we're gonna regret this.
Yeah, David. We're gonna regret not filming everything.
What?
In 50 years, we'll regret not having filmed everything.
Yeah,
I think that's right. David sometimes talks to me about regretting not filming his parents more because he doesn't have good memories of them.
Yeah, totally.
But it's really scary to them, unnerving to have this sort of document so that they.
You don't have to have it all the time. Even if you have it 25% of the time, it's I mean, the benefits of it are really highest after, say.
When will you go It's just something that you'll have for 50 years in the future, and you can sort of go.
It's not for 50 years in the future. It's also for future people who are obsessed with me, for example, Sonia.
There you go. How long have you known each other?
Only for 2 years. Since 2016. Wait, no, only 1.5 years so far.
She's obsessed with you?
She's not obsessed with me, but she's very fascinated by me.
And how does that make you feel?
It's very validating.
Oh, that's good.
But also, I'm also more and more realize that I'm actually really fucking special, but I didn't realize it because of being an idiot. Where's the hot water? Here, damn, let's wait.
Yeah, do you still have your website up with all the things that you ever wrote, including in middle
Yeah,
school?
I do, but it's not as complete as it could be. In fact, I realized this could have been one of my comparative advantages. If I had continuously maintained the document, I would literally be internet famous by now, simply because no one else does it.
Yeah.
It's have you heard of iJustine?
iJustine? No, I haven't seen it.
Be for the PewDiePie.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, and.
Oh, iJustine, the YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but it's not very much, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it because it's mostly just shitty video game clips. I don't even play video games that well, so.
There's one type of let's play is watching someone usually excellent, but there's another kind that's just good for the banter, the point of view.
Yeah, totally. Or in terms of his story, or your learning curves, or how you learn, and I think it was just valuable.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of let's play videos, or?
I get bored of most of them.
I sometimes will watch them on
2x.
Yeah, 2x, or I'll fast forward to a point that I'm interested in. I just sort of click through. I get so mad when someone sends me a 10-minute YouTube video. Just goes, oh, I think you should watch this whole thing. Right, I don't know. That just happened to me today. So you're here for the datathon?
Yeah.
And where are you staying?
I'm staying in Barbergen with Amy Kwan.
I heard, I think it was back in the fall, that there was you had a bit of an incident with a fraternity.
Oh yeah.
Has that resolved itself?
Not yet. I am gonna make it resolve, but no one really at this point. No one really cares. Most people know I'm pretty much harmless, and
yeah. From what I've heard, it seemed really unreasonable.
Yeah, but you have to deal with the fact that unreasonable people often may have power. In fact, they often acquire power because people who are more reasonable oftentimes don't have the personality traits that cause them to seek out power. Oftentimes with power you sacrifice freedom.
That's true. Yeah, that's I think about that in terms of like the departmental politics, like who becomes the department chair or something, or do you
Oh my god, I noticed it's true. Like department chairs are often assholes.
It's always the worst person.
Or
the best person.
Because they have to fight. They have to know how to fight. They have to know how to carry the tough choices. Nice people don't like to carry tough choices.
That's right.
Like 9 tenure or.
Yeah, it's also just There's also that's probably the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a certain kind of person who like wants control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know.
Not everyone who wants control is bad. I have a friend, Michael Gao, who also possesses power, but I think he has the potential to not care about, to only. I mean, there are some negative things you have to do, but you only do it with high regrets over doing it rather than actually taking pleasure over it.
Yeah, I think regret is.
Not with regret, just with mindfulness and with sensitivity to those who are hurt a little bit more.
Do you know like who Bernard Williams is?
Who? What?
Bernard Williams.
Who is he?
He's an ethicist who talks about moral luck.
Uh-huh.
So he's like sometimes there are just these like what he calls tragic sort of situations in which there's no right thing to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So like the like ethical orientation to oh you should use this water, Alex. There's lead in the Providence water.
Was there lead in this?
No, because we're only allowed to use this.
Oh yeah, I keep on forgetting. Aren't the brown fountains okay? Doesn't brown filter?
The like water, the drinking fountains are filtered.
Mm-hmm.
But
ionizers.
Yeah. You can also cool it by pouring it between your 2 cups.
Oh yes, good idea. It sounds like a very, very video gaming solution.
I think it's like from that like Richard Feynman book I read when I was 14.
Yeah. When you were 14, I remember it's already a sign of some development that most of our classmates do not really have. It's a sign of some level of development that most of our classmates do not have.
That's true. Yeah, I think that there are probably some of the more interesting people from our graduating class didn't come to the reunion.
Yeah, like who?
I don't know. Like, I'd be really interested to hear like what Eric Whiff is doing.
How interesting is he, though?
Well, he's always been sort of an enigma to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you haven't figured out, or?
I mean, he's quiet.
Well, he became very like loud actually in college. I remember
Minnesota.
Like, yeah, he went to Minnesota. He visited the University of Washington with this girl. He had like all these tattoos all of a sudden.
Oh
he had
wow.
A stronger opinion.
That's interesting that people change so much.
Yeah, I think that whenever you take someone out of one situation and put them in another, especially when they're quiet and they're like they can be more thoughtful.
Where's your office?
I don't have an office. Yeah. I have a cubicle in the building next door. But we can go to this library here. Let me know if it's too dreary. Some people are really affected by
infected by what?
Affected by the light.
Nice library. Wonder if anyone still reads these books.
No, they don't. I mean, there's. I would say maybe like 10% of them are on the exams, and those are sort of shared.
Politics books are like.
But a lot of them are obsolete.
Arbitrary.
A lot of it's stuff that people wanted to get rid of and left here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like a way of assuaging guilt.
Yeah.
Even I have still built some libraries of books I purchased from the youth for like super cheap.
Oh yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, so
What are your plans for the rest of the evening?
I don't have any immediate plans. Although I might want to visit one of the Waterman co-ops simply because I know they're there and they're also pretty open places.
The co-op on
Yeah.
Waterman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the one that's like on Ives? Waterman and
Ives?
Ives?
One's at Waterman Ives. You've been to that?
I just see it a lot. I see like the chickens. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah. Were you involved with them at all when you were here?
I visited it. I couch surfed there once, but then I never visited even after I came to Brown, and I realized it's a huge regret that I didn't visit it more often because it was often a source of free food.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's one of the things they're best at. Yeah, so
There's also the haircut off Ives that I really like, simply because they had a video game console and I played Fallout 3 for the first time there, and I'll never forget the memories of that, even though I didn't play
on Ives Street.
Yeah.
To get your haircut.
Yes, I waited while I waited. I played Fallout.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was such a nice time, and also, I don't know. I just really that summer it was hot as hell, but it's still super memorable in a good way.
That was your summer before graduate school?
Or after.
Oh, okay.
I knew at least for the first 2 months, I was just totally free because I had no obligations, and even though I was upset over losing the graduate school situation, I had freedom.
Yeah. Where did you go after that summer? Did you go back to?
Yeah, I went back home.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was only like maybe 2 years. Oh, so that year.
2012 or 2013, mid 2013.
Okay, so it was like 2 years.
And then it took 2.5 years before, and then came back to Cambridge.
That's right. And I was meaning to ask you, how's because I remember when you started creating large Facebook Messenger groups.
Yeah.
There was always these ideological struggles in their
You read those? Oh my god, I should add you to the newest one. This is so amazing. I keep on forgetting. This is sad.
I just remember people getting really upset at you for creating the groups at all.
That's not hugely, only a few people.
Well, yeah, and then they would leave, but they would also, what was, I can't remember his name. It was someone who was friends with, is it Vipul? Is that how you
Yeah.
say it?
Oh, Ethan Bibashinsky. Yeah, Ethan kicked you.
Has your relationship with Ethan and Vipul been
salvaged? We don't talk anymore. We weren't that compatible to begin with.
I see.
I can only get along with super open people. Or super high openness people.
And Issa?
No, I'm not friends with him anymore. Or we don't really talk and he stopped caring about me.
I see. How about Sergey? Are you still in touch with him? Sergey?
Sergey what? Oh, he talked to you. I never really talked to him. I've never had a high opinion of him.
Yeah, he's someone who... Sometimes he sends me really inappropriate things.
Even now?
Yeah, he'll just... sometimes he'll send me things of, a sexual nature.
Yeah.
I have to tell him that it's inappropriate.
I wonder if he improved or not, because my model was that he would have improved.
I remember he made a very public post that was enigmatic, and I presumed it was something along those lines, that he had decided that he had been doing inappropriate things for a while and was going to change, and yeah, I think that he's not.
Yeah.
So when you said that I look a little different, what did you mean?
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Fatter face.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten bigger.
Yeah, Samanti is a chew, by the way. I have to be careful.
Yeah, I gained a lot of weight last year.
Oh, dang.
That's when it started. It was like, I think, you know, well, you would probably know better than me, but I think not sleeping really affected my metabolism. I was really sedentary. I basically just stayed in my room, and I would just go to.
Because you got sad.
Yeah, it was just sort of like, I think that what was happening is I was worried about my work, and then I wouldn't sleep. So.
Being worried about your work. Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then I think I was also sort of worried about my relationship and how it was going, and there was just sort of a confluence of things. And
do you think it's still going well?
My relationship?
Yeah.
My relationship is going great, I think. So I went to California in December, and we drove up, and we were together for like 3 weeks then, and she was just out here for President's Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna meet in New Mexico in a couple of weeks. I think that it was actually kind of good that she went to California because it's much easier to compartmentalize my time. Yeah. But yeah, initially, like, just something. It was right after I defended my prospectus. My advisor was like, "Let's try to get like a chapter draft out in a month," and I made 0 progress in that month, and then I think I just really felt like a failure. And then over the next 2 months, I gained 30 pounds, really rapidly.
Prospectus?
Yeah, but the prospectus is like a draft of a dissertation that you do in social sciences and humanities. So after I completed my exams, I took like maybe 15 months to propose a dissertation topic, which is a little long, but I'm still, I think I have a good project. Yeah, it's better than my peers, anyways. Or my peers here. I don't know about. I think more interesting than other people. I just was at this conference at Duke, and yeah.
What conference?
It's a graduate political theory conference.
Which area of political theory are you in again?
Say again?
Which area of political theory are you in again?
I do democratic theory. So, and within democratic theory, I'm, I guess, sort of part of like a school of thought called agonism, which is which emphasizes the benefits of conflict. So, my argument is that a lot of democratic theorists sort of fetishize unity, and that this is and consensus.
Haven't you been losing faith in democracy over the last few years?
No. Well, so one thing is I don't really consider this to be a democracy,
We're not even here.
Yeah, I don't know. It also sort of depends. I think that there's a lot of alarmism, but that's often the product of an ahistorical perspective. Things have been very, very bad for a very long time. Do you disagree?
Things have been bad for a long time. Yes, it's because there have been too many people for income inequality, and somehow rich people don't want to lose anything, even if they lost 50% of their income, their lives would be absolutely no different.
Yeah. The case of Sweden is really interesting because they were effectively came up with a plan to nationalize a lot of their industry, basically to cut out the capital holder as middleman. So they would still have venture capitalists investing, but it would be but there would be no individual who
I have friends in Sweden who basically live in bed basically getting provided venture capitalists.
So the point is that there was a plan in the 70s that was proposed that would basically buy away stakes in industry from these people, and they were we understand that by being compensated, we would be losing all of our power in the state, and so for that reason they ousted all the people in the opposition. Yeah, so there's an interesting set of problems. Yeah, but I don't know if it's a problem to do with democracy per se. And it's also like I'm not necessarily invested in democracy. It's more of a
area of study.
Yeah, it's an area of study. It's the sort of democratic procedures I think are just a fact of life, so they're worth sort of understanding. I'm not really like a tinkerer in like policy or like what sort of like voting system produces different outcomes. Like I think that's just sort of like, I mean, it was fun in like high school to imagine writing a constitution or something. I just had these like fantasies of. I remember in Miss Bahat's class, I wrote this story about how I wanted to be like Napoleon and
taking over the world. Do you read Nietzsche? And you also do read Nietzsche later in life. I don't know, like in the last.
I read Nietzsche later in life.
Yeah.
You said, yeah. I didn't really know. I had read like a textbook, like a really low level textbook on philosophy, and had some basic understanding of Nietzsche, but no, that's not really. I was just into like great man history and wanting to be a. Yeah, I was just thinking about some of the things that you wrote in like 8th and 9th grade. I read them one night with David. Like we had synced the laptop to the TV screen, and we were reading a bunch of your writing.
Oh wow! When was this?
That was back when we lived in 1010.
Okay.
But it was really like auspicious. I thought like you were very like I was very impressed by like your like style, like which like wasn't exactly like how I'd remembered you, I guess. Like I knew that you wanted to be a physicist.
Yeah.
And to work with like nuclear energy. Is that right? Astrophysicist? Okay. But yeah, so it was like, yeah, I didn't quite like, maybe it was because we weren't in a lot of the same classes because of the crime that North Shore committed against you.
Yes.
But I didn't really have this memory of you as being like a brilliant stylist and like man of letters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But did you sort of see yourself that way?
And people on my forums complimented me on my intelligence.
Yeah, but like intelligence is one thing.
Yeah.
But
style.
It's not just having the right ideas. Yeah.
I think I've lost some of it, but like I can probably recreate some of it too.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. You might just be a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's sort of one of the things that you were talking about, like being an extraordinary individual. I thought that was one thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Are there other sort of bases of extraordinariness that you have been thinking about lately?
I mean, now it's behavioral, being extraordinary in terms of behavior, in terms of being super open. I oftentimes ask people, on which dimensions of human behavior are most extreme on?
I've noticed in the last, like, I want to say, like, 6 weeks, maybe, you've been posting a lot more
on Facebook.
Yes. Is that a conscious decision, or?
It's just feedback loops. Once you make a decision and people give you the feedback loops, and you're not too emotionally attached to your posts, it just continues.
Yeah, I just didn't, if it was like, I feel like you're always experimenting with sort of new ways of using Facebook. Or,
experimental, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is one of the things I've realized I'm really strong in is being experimental. In fact, this is one of the big reasons why I'm like more increasingly trying to socialize myself a little bit away from the Ivy direction, even though it's
From what?
From say traditional Ivy League people,
Oh, yeah.
even though it's still like the easiest space to find a friend base in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the people outside of that are probably a little more far flung.
Yeah, totally. With people in Ivies, you actually have a network to run, whereas people outside of them, the good people are often Silicon Valley or the rationalist movement. And I don't know, it's maybe there's also this sense of radical openness where it's hard to get close to people to super open people precisely because they're constantly chasing other people. So
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, do you find that like the more people you get interested in and engaged with, the less time you have for other people?
it's hard to say because a lot of people also don't have huge desire to spend time with me. So if people constantly ask to hang out with me, I'm actually surprisingly open if I know that they're uppers, not downers.
Yeah, like what sort of effect do downers have on you?
Downers, they tend to be a little bit self-centered. They try to care about their own preferences more than yours. Maybe they might hang out for you for the sake of having someone to hang out with, or maybe because I don't know. It's just that you feel that whenever you're with them, you feel a little bit less free. I think that's the distinction.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Feeling less free.
Hmm. Like some roommates are totally ideal. They're like uppers. They give you energy when you're tired, and you don't feel any less free to act when you're around them.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Hmm.
I also like roommates who have like who don't have a very strong presence, or it's only there when you need it. Does that make sense?
Or no, they're very sensitive to you. So if you need time to yourself, they'll totally respect it. But on the other hand, we will have periods of time in your life when you don't have as much energy and you probably want someone to chill with, and they're right for you. And they can also just serve as an external memory source. They can remind you of things. Those are like the best roommates.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been living with this one person for 4 years now.
And 4 years at your place.
Yeah, it was so like at my old place, there was like it was sort of everyone was on a separate lease. And so it was just sort of by happenstance that we ended up rooming together. She's a teacher at the French American school. And
how old is she?
I think she's 36.
Okay. I remember going to your house and eating some of those nuts there.
Yeah. Yeah. You stayed. Did you stay? You stayed the night, I think.
Only one night.
Yeah. I remember we talked for like
a long time about people like even Daniel File, right. About some of our old classmates, about your memories of Zelda.
Oh yeah.
And Zelda. I remember that your memory is actually pretty good compared to most other people I talk to, because you do.
Because I do.
And then I remember that your memory is generally pretty good, and I was having the conversation about the Civil War and how you remember all of my idiosyncrasies like that.
Oh yeah, playing dodgeball and talking about the Civil War in Mr. Boniface's class. Did you have Boniface?
No, I did not. Remember, I was stuck. I was trapped.
That's right.
Yeah, Aditya didn't even know.
Mr. McLean?
Sometimes Aditya didn't even remember that I wasn't in honors class.
Really?
Yes.
When did you see Aditya?
No, the last time was years ago.
He's always kind of had his head in the clouds.
As in?
He's just sort of not concerned with like other sort of things. I think, like he's kind of like egoist.
Yeah, I agree. He's not very explicit about things, and I remember when he was failing his calculus class. It was pretty amusing.
Yeah. Amusing, like because of the way he was responding, or because
probably because of the way he was responding. But he always at that very end he'd make up for it and get A- or something.
Yeah. But I really have fond memories of. Oh, you were like you missed a date. Did you ever hear about like that group that we had, LOL Extreme?
Yeah, the forums.
Yeah.
Were
you on LOL Extreme?
I think was it JP? Wasn't it there Catherine Nguyen?
It was Kaipo, I think Kaipo like paid for the domain.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
we
yeah.
all-
Oh yeah.
And then we all.
I remember there's also a domain before that where Jamie Nuff and Clint Zane paid for a domain before that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I think that we were probably copying them then. But yeah, we used it mostly to share answers for Sean Lemeyer's homework.
Oh yeah, I was after me because.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But I didn't know if you were like a sort of honorable invite, because Simfish is like an important facet of any online forum. Oh, and I see that you've been. Oh, there was this article you posted about this guy who shoplifts from Whole Foods, and he's starting a new
Wikipedia. Yeah, I remember. You also remember my early obsession with Wikipedia and the obsession with George W. Bush.
Yeah.
And vandalizing the page.
What's this new? It's Everpedia. It's called.
Yeah.
Is it really much better?
It has the potential to be better only because of deletionists.
Deletionists?
Yeah. Wikipedia's been destroyed by deletionists. What are
deletionists?
People who delete any new article that's created in case they don't consider it notable enough.
Oh.
I've also realized that Wikipedia editing is like, I know the Wikipedia guidelines, and this is an area of knowledge I know about and most other people don't know about, and I think it speaks to high curiosity. It's also a field that John Lee really got into, too.
Yeah, I was the only time that I ever needed to do anything, like, I had to do something with Wikipedia for a job, which is when I worked for a political consulting firm, and they would make me write articles for the politicians that I worked for.
Like?
Eric Omeg. Like, they were all local...
Massachusetts?
Seattle, or, Washington politicians. So Eric Omeg was a representative of our neighborhood. Roger Goodman. And then in Seattle, people like the Attorney General Pete Holmes and Dow Constantine, now the county executive. But those would often get deleted. And you're more frustrated with Quora lately?
Yeah. I don't know if it's really Quora itself that's a problem. It's just other people are the problem, but it hasn't changed. It just never anticipated the problems of scaling and how a lot of good people would leave after it scales.
Because they have to compete with other... Have you seen David lately?
Yeah, I visited him at the Broad. He randomly visited me at the Broad a week ago.
How does he seem?
He seems pretty okay. He's doing a new inflammation scene project.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy about his work right now.
Oh, cool. Do you still talk with Nate much?
Nate Botman?
Uh-huh.
No, almost not at all.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
I mean, I asked, but I wasn't able to meet him in Vision.
Where is he?
Princeton.
Is he's still dating Yaim?
Yeah. I met Yaim, too.
What was your impression?
She seemed okay.
Really?
I mean, I only saw her when eating at Inman Square, so...
Okay. Yeah, David and I had very low...
I know.
Okay, I feel like... Yeah. I feel like we sort of took a stand against her, in a way.
Against her against her going to visit Nate when you were with her.
So they had split up, and we were basically like, we know that you're not supposed to do this because you can get back together.
If you warn people, it's good, but the problem is sometimes it's not cool to kick people out without even warning them.
Kick people out?
Without warning them first. Sometimes it's happened to people.
Oh, yeah. We didn't...
I know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what we had anticipated that she was going to like insinuate herself into the like housing situation, and so we made some sort of like universal rules. We were like, okay, you can have someone can visit like every week for up to 3 days a week, or if they're like or if they're gonna stay for longer, then there has to be like they can stay for 2 weeks maximum, but then they can't visit again for a while. And these were sort of like the anti-Yaim measures that we took.
Oh yeah.
But when they split up, because like I guess they had gotten into a fight about something, and she made like really difficult demands on him. So she went to Switzerland to work with her advisor for like 6 months, and then after 3 days she decided she was too lonely for him. And while Nate was there, he was taking a seminar where it was just him, one other person, and his advisor, and she basically demanded that he leave and come visit her for 2 weeks in Switzerland. And so those kinds of like, I mean, speaking of downers, like people who restrict your freedom, that's exactly what she was. And like we were just sort of like, this is really unhealthy. You need to get out of this situation. What do you like? What's positive about it for you? And all he could say was, well, it's like I fall asleep really easy, like when she's next to me, which is like something you could say about a really good pillow, but not like a life partner, So I think that it comes out of a certain kind of insecurity on his part that's really like disappointing, I guess. Are you bored? Do you want to go someplace or talk about something else?
Yeah, we were going to talk about the reunion.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if there was really anything. I mean, do you have any questions about it?
Yeah, I wanted you to ask me, for example, how many people asked about me and...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And updates on other people's lives, for example.
We talked about it a little bit on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, you did.
There weren't a lot of people asking about you. And like I said, I think it was kind of a disappointing... I mean, like, I think that your presence there would have been very provocative. And like would have brought like people's... Like, I think it would have been much more productive in this regard, like getting people to sort of reminisce about you explicitly.
Yeah.
I think, I wish like, if I'd known that you were curious about this, I guess I would have been more... I was
a very last minute decision. I could have gone there last minute, except I didn't. And instead I hung out with my Harvard friend group, and they're fucking awesome, so... Whatever.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I consider my Harvard... I don't know. It's still like... Even though I consider the Harvard friend group more important than, say, people from high school or middle school, it's still... people from middle school, you've got to know for so long. You can't escape from them. And sometimes you know them so well that they can be, like, a source to ground you, because it's like you know how other people work. Because nowadays, increasingly, most of the people I interact with are privileged, and it is good to have a base of privileged people. But I mean, it's really good to remind yourself that there are so many other life paths. And even though you did not ask to waste your time in classrooms with these people, it's the fact that you have a comparative advantage in knowing them means that you shouldn't leave them.
Yeah, I think that is also really good, just with like to contextualize like your own sort of like the last 10 years. Yeah, totally. And also, they remind you of how you were neurotic and unnecessarily so. I mean, I avoided them for a lot. The reason I avoided them was because I always knew that our school was shitty and that there were other options elsewhere, and that's why I didn't talk to anyone from our school for years. Mm-hmm. But now I realize I totally had the option to just become internet famous anyways, and it's so trivial and easy to even become popular and well-known, even on Ivy League campuses, and you don't even have to do all the academic work to do it. Right. That's true.
But even though I am still, like, super knowledgeable and much more knowledgeable than most Ivy League students.
Yes.
And I'm still really... And if you integrate my study over a lifetime, I still study much harder than most people, even if it's not timely studying.
Timely meaning?
Timely meaning I study when I'm supposed to study.
Oh,
Rather,
yeah.
I study when I'm not supposed to study.
Yeah, I'm probably guilty of that too. It's a sort of curse of curiosity, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really not that hard to be smarter than an Ivy League student.
You notice when grading papers?
Yeah, they're very poor often. I mean the quality of work.
Oh yes, I know because brown students are like partiers, and I see this a lot. But if you just look walking around in the conversations and the ratty or whatever. By the way, do you ever go to the ratty?
Very rarely.
Okay.
Very rarely.
It's still a fun place to still walk up to people and just ask them random questions, anyways.
Yeah, I think I avoided it for a while because I didn't want to.
I mean, signal to noise ratio isn't good, but I know some people who just game the Brown system, and they are really cool people.
Who just game the Brown system?
Not game, they just Cliff Weissman, for example, and Valentin Perez or Shiv Gandhi. They're kind of legends at Brown. Actually, a lot of the people at the undergrads I know at Brown tend to be more likely to be the ones who are the more high openness ones. The high openness people are like amazing because it's not only that they're also more likely to be famous too.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, it's such an important like. Do you consider openness like a skill or just a disposition?
It's both. Sometimes you can, if you practice it over time, it does become a little bit more of a skill. But you have to have like very high curiosity. People say I'm the most curious person they know. Yeah,
you definitely are a very curious person. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at being. I think I have very like high openness with a lot of people, but I get really intimidated by like authority.
Yeah, me too, totally.
So like.
That's why you felt a little bit restrained with your advisor, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, I have a friend who's Facebook friends with almost like every major political theorist. And
fuck, you should friend Diego Di Calero. He's friends with so many anthropology people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
who's your friend who's friends with every major political theorist?
His name's Jared.
Is he a graduate here?
Yeah.
Jared what?
I don't know his last name. He just came here. He just transferred from UCLA.
Okay.
But he studies race.
Jared from UCLA. Okay. Oh, I get.
And he knows a lot of. I mean, it just seems like he's very good at networking and to like. But not in. I don't think it's in like a. Like there's a difference between people who are clearly doing it with like sort of interest in mind rather than curiosity.
Oh, yeah, some who are doing it for the sake of networking.
Yeah. And that I think people find very distasteful and suspicious.
Yeah. People tell that they notice the difference with me, for example.
Yeah, so I'm just sort of I'm trying to get better about that. So like I went to this Duke conference.
Yeah.
And there was this the discussant for my paper is a scholar whose work I admire. And he said, "Oh, I'll send you the notes," but of course he hasn't sent me the notes. But it took me a really long time to get the like courage to write an email requesting the material that he offered me, which is just stupid, and like in the past I would have just ended that sort of like relationship right away by not following up. Are you looking up Jared?
A little bit, but more like, yeah. Go on. Yeah, go. What were you about to say?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to. I think that you're a very savvy Facebook user. I think that it would be.
I'm a very savvy user of all social media, of a lot of social media. And it's something I should have just fully embraced rather than shied away from, even if it forced me out of school.
How about do you use some of like the big popular ones like Instagram or Twitter?
I've tried using Instagram a little bit more, and Twitter I'm trying to use a little bit more, but I've never really jived with either of them super well. But I know them as much as I fucking hate 140 car, and it's better now. I'm gonna have to get used
It's
to it.
280 now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting to think like which ones sort of sync up with different generations. Like, is it true that fewer young people are signing up to Facebook? And Twitter is something that a lot of older people use.
Yeah. It's a travesty that it's harder to find young people than ever before.
Harder to find?
Yeah.
For a social media
Mm-hmm.
network? Aren't they all just on Instagram?
Not all of them. And Instagram is not where smart people go.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we just need to wait for the next good one.
Mm-hmm. Did you read the Jonas Cynic emails I mass forwarded?
By mass forwarded, do you mean he sent it to, or you sent it to a lot of people?
Yeah, probably including you.
No, I don't think that
Okay.
I got one.
Okay.
I think I would have known. So Jonas Cynic, he's from, is it, what was his group? He's in California, right?
Yeah.
What did he send you? Or did he send you something that you forwarded?
No, I'll tell you later.
Okay. Why not now?
Tired.
Oh, okay. Well, let me check actually if I did get it. I might remember.
It's not
like,
important.
Actually, I think I do. It was a very negative. He like attacked your character.
No, that's Andrew Ho.
Oh, he attacked you. Oh,
Yeah.
Andrew Ho. Would you have sent it to my Brown email?
No, maybe, I don't know.
Cynic is S-I...
I'll tell you later. S-I-N-I-C-K. Jonah Cynic.
Yeah. Do you prefer not to talk about it right now?
Yeah, I prefer to talk about other things. Or because this is something I easily remember, so I can always ask about you later. Like, I try to carefully proportion things that I could talk with you about that we probably wouldn't talk about over Messenger versus things we can't talk about over Messenger. So...
Are there things we can't talk about over Messenger?
I'm just thinking here. Other people's lives. Like, what's up with some other people we caught up with?
Do you remember RD?
RD?
Yeah.
No.
Let me think.
Was Kaipo there?
No.
I don't know. What about Franklin Pearsall?
I didn't see him.
I don't think he would have been gone either. What was the female to male ratio?
I would say it was very even.
Okay.
1-to-1. Yeah, just give me some names.
Sayako.
I did see Sayako. She seemed happy.
Okay.
But I don't really remember what she was doing.
Who do you spend them? Was there anyone unemployed?
Do you remember Matt Christie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been having difficulty finding work, I think.
Because of his, I know he got into foreign language and culture.
Yeah, he did foreign language and humanitarian studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think he's married now, but I think he does some French tutoring.
Who would you say is the most behind in life? Like, not. The most I think there's a selection bias. I think people who are the most successful people are not likely to go to reunions. The moderate successful are most likely to go. The least successful are least likely to go.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so that reminds me of this. So I think it was a couple of years ago. I met up with Dimitri Kazaris.
Yeah.
And this guy R.D. Eisenhart that I guess you don't remember. And
no, I don't.
We went to the.
Dimitri was never a very talkative person.
No, yeah, but we became very close friends.
Mm-hmm.
He and I went to the casino in Kingsgate.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to that casino?
No, I never knew that one existed.
Yeah, so it was it used to be the Snow King.
Mm-hmm.
There by the McDonald's. Do you remember it?
No.
So it was if you take like the bus taking us to North Shore would go down Woodinville Redmond Road, and then it would take a left, and then Red Hook would be on the right, and it would go up over a hill and then down, and then that would take us into Kingsgate. I remember after we watched Super Size Me for this bullshit class theory of knowledge, David...
TOK.
Yeah, TOK. Yeah. David, Jacob, and I went to... We had a contest to see who could eat the most calories at McDonald's.
Oh, man.
I won because I ate 9 cheeseburgers, which was really, like, a stupid thing to do. Yeah, we're so stupid. Anyway, so...
say it in front of me. Say it in front of me, of all people.
To say...
Yeah, that he ate 9 cheeseburgers in front of me.
Yeah. I know you'll judge me, but I should be judged for that. So, yeah, we went to... Anyway, yeah, I went to the casino, and there were a lot of people that weren't at the reunion. This was earlier, but and then I guess there's a bar in Juanita that my brother told me there was like an unofficial reunion.
Oh yeah, successful people tend not to go to bars. Bars are like where boring people go.
Yeah, I think that they're...
Like, people who don't know how to socialize other words go to bars.
I mean, it's if you're in the middle of a city and there's, like... it's in the middle of the night and there's nowhere else to go. But even then, yeah, it's not an ideal location. Or it would be, yeah, something. I often go to hotel lobbies. Because they typically have apples.
Yeah, free breakfast.
Yeah. I'm thinking at night. If it's cold at night and I'm looking for a place to go, anywhere, any city, hotel lobbies, warm. They have a phone there, so they'll make any phone call that you want. Like it used to, like before, like Uber or Lyft, I would go to a hotel and have.
Oh man, that's amazing. Do you ever visit undergrads congregate too? Place where undergrads hang out.
I think that they would just go to like coffee houses or.
Or I mean, or here, for example, they just go to.
Well, I try to avoid the undergrads.
Why?
Just because I like when I was a TA, I would like run into my students wherever I would go.
Okay.
Where they were undergrads, and they would sort of harass me for like, when's this gonna get graded?
Oh, okay.
And so I just thought, I'll on campus, it's fine. Like I'm very open with all of my students if they like. And if anyone writes me an email, I give them I made a special email for them, and I have a special folder in Gmail. And
are you secretly a soft person? And if they figure out how to trigger you, that you'll be more lenient towards them? And do they sometimes try to prod?
No, I'm like in terms of grading. You mean? No, absolutely not. I've had a lot of prodding. It's painful for me, but I'm very like rigid when it comes to.
I can't imagine you as rigid.
Just because I feel like, so I put a lot of time into the grades that I give, and I'm very like thoughtful about it, and I take lots of precautions to be as objective as possible. Yeah. And so when someone comes and just goes, well, I put so much time and effort into this, it's like you could have worked on it for a whole for 70 hours, and if this was the product, it would still get the same grades. Like, I don't think there's any argument that can be made after the work that I put into. Like, when they read the comments that I make, I'll go, so yeah, that was insufficiently done. And then they don't have it's very seldom that a student will say, well, I've done that, and this is here, and you've overlooked this brilliant argument that I made, and then I go, I'm sorry. Like, I suppose it's possible, but yeah. Did you ever argue grades?
Oh, I'm too scared to do that, but I should have. I know it's a valuable life skill.
Is it?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever changed a student's grade is when they talk to me first as a formality.
Yeah. Because
that's what you have to do before you can talk to the professor. But then the professors typically bend. Mm-hmm. I mean, the grading is such. You notice the professors bend.
It's interesting. Yeah, Melanie Johnson literally called Brown a joke school.
I mean, they tell me basically. I mean, they claim that there's like two things that are happening at the same time. One is that they like give you a certain set of standards, but then at the end they'll get upset if it's not 50% B's and 50% A's.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just basically know that half of the students are going to be B's and half are A's, and then like a few students are going to get C's.
Okay.
I had to give a C to, and then also if you get an F in a class, then they just erase it from your record.
Yeah. So it's like not taking it at all.
Yeah, so it's better to give someone a C. I mean, if you want to punish them. So I keep that in mind. There's this one student who's, but at the same time, I like to reward ingenuity. So I had one student who was a very like good economist, and he knew that basically brown papers are jokes and that there's no sort of standard to adhere to, and so he thought like, what's the opportunity cost of like putting too much investment into this class, and he didn't do any of his work until like 3 days before he was definitely the smartest person in the class, but just wouldn't write the papers, and that put me in a bad situation. But as soon as he submitted the papers, I'd give him A's. They were really good.
It's funny, David. Do you know? David said, I felt really sad after treating my parents so bad, and I told you, David. And he said, you set such a low for your parents that any improvement is now good.
Did that help?
I guess.
You set a low at what point? Like, at what moment did you think that their expectations would be?
Oh God. I don't even know.
It's, the benefit of friends, right? And they'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm glad that you mentioned that I'm getting fatter in the face. It's not just the face. I've made some changes recently in my diet. I'm swimming more now too. Do you have any recommendations?
Adderall.
Adderall helps?
Yes.
To curb the appetite, or?
It also increases your stamina, so you exercise longer and fat harder.
Interesting. Yeah, swimming laps, I think that would really help a lot. Yeah, it can get kind of boring just swimming back and forth.
That sounds very Sims-like.
Yeah, it is. Just see the little bar going up. Did you ever play any of the Sims past the first Sims?
I played all the 3 and 4 like for several hours each.
Are there any games that you play now?
Not as much now. This new Ultra book makes gaming much easier.
Are you on Steam or?
Yeah. Are we friends?
No. We should be.
Yeah,
friends.
we should.
I think my favorite thing about Steam is that you can see what other people are playing and how much they play.
Except you keep on forgetting forgetting to match the names to their faces.
Oh, I only have a handful of people, so I know. I mean, I mostly just do it for David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah, it's like if I go on, like whenever I go on, I'll check David. Like,
we need to play together.
What he did the last week. He comes we should do that sometime because so especially in the summer when my roommates leave because they're both French, and so they'll go home, and I'll have a little bit of time. Sometimes what David will do is he'll come down with his computer, and then we'll play, we'll download a couple games together, and we just order food and.
That sounds so ideal. That sounds so memorable.
So what?
That sounds so memorable.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, when you look back at the trajectory of life in 50 years, these are the memories you'll be happiest with. It's also members that I wish we could have recorded on film so that we could share them with each other for 20 to 50, 30 years from now.
it would be great. I mean, I have so many great. I mean, I'm very bad at StarCraft, but I have great.
I know.
StarCraft
I know. It's like people, like when Holly Elmore, she said that when she looked back in her photo albums, that's what made her totally depressed.
Depressed?
Undepressed.
Oh, yeah.
When you saw her past. And it was like reminded of the positive memories of the past.
Yeah, I just went through, my mom pulled out a lot of really old photo albums.
Yeah.
Because Ty was visiting, she hadn't seen them before. And yeah, that felt really good. Yeah, did your parents document a lot of your childhood?
They used to, not as much anymore. This is one of the biggest regrets now.
Well, at least you're taking measures into your own hands.
Yeah, but far too late.
Well, I mean, that's not like the best perspective. I mean, like there'll be a hole, but
yeah, I know.
At least it's you've stopped. You know, you've started taking the right practices. Yeah, the worst thing, like the belatedness is such like a bad bias to have, like because it is really it's way too defeatist.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a good idea, you should just go for it. I'm sure there are some good backward-looking sort of like anxieties, but that's not what I've thought.
Yeah. What is today? 7:06.
You said what is today?
Yeah.
It's the 4th.
Yeah, 4th. I want to try a trick. I want to see if you can follow the trick. I'm gonna think about doing it.
Oh yeah. I don't have Messenger here.
Okay, so I am very tempted. Want to go to the rally together and try the trick of asking everyone for flights to the dining hall so we can both get free food?
I have to leave in 23 minutes. I have to
damn.
Go.
We can do it quickly.
I can walk you to the rally.
Okay. I mean, it closes at 7:30, so.
Oh well.
Yeah. Also the rally. Yeah, this is what I realized. We could literally meet people together. This would have been so fun for us to do, or David and me, we just read random undergrads together.
Yeah, it was fun when the last time you came and we went to the dorm you were staying at and met those two people who.
Oh, you even remember them?
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't even remember you came there.
Yeah. Yeah, I went up to see the place you were staying at. They were like eating cake or something.
Yeah,
and they asked you...
Are you free tomorrow at all?
I'm not. I'm hosting a visiting scholar.
Hosting an actual visiting scholar?
Yeah, I got this Mellon grant to run a workshop, and like part of the budget is we can invite some scholars. And so she's flying in from Chicago tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's why I asked, because I was hoping that you were staying through Tuesday. I'll have more free time on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I just spoke to David. I'm gonna come up to Cambridge really soon to visit.
Okay.
And I'll just text him now and say that we should meet up with you at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a lot of fun too to organize like a meetup where we all play a video game together.
Yeah.
So you wanna head towards the Ratty or somewhere else, or?
Yeah. What was? Oh, I was with other friends. Yeah, I was wanting to get all the bases covered.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone else was like behind or about what particular receptive kind of influence or whatever?
Receptive to your influence?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good question. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who do you think was there anyone that influenced you in a positive way?
Me.
At the in either North Shore or Inglemoor?
It's really hard to say. I mean, there's some people who I really like. I like Evan Anderson, for example.
Oh yeah. He was there.
Yeah.
He seemed. Yeah, he kind of had a similar dynamic as it was in high school. I felt like he was very lonely.
He was lonely?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know some of it, but he also has a fratitude up, and I always liked him more than a lot of other people.
Than Then you liked other people, or more than other people liked him?
More than other people, probably. I don't know. It's like.
Well, he's also an open person.
Yeah.
And he's very compassionate. Why did you like him?
He was friendly to me. He was always friendly to me. I mean, a lot of people were friendly to me, but there's something else about him that I guess, like, he didn't seem to be brainwashed or something. I don't know. But, like, Ferris Lupino. This has to be taken a picture of. Yeah, sometimes I like going to random departments and just
looking at the photos.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. For example, Berkeley. I know a lot of people in the Berkeley Math department, so it's fun going to Berkeley Math or Berkeley Physics or Stanford Physics and seeing all the names I know. In general, actually, people generally like core famous people or people I used to stalk from college confidential days or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've been thinking about this.
Are you going back home, actually?
No. I've got to meet somebody at the Rock at 7:30.
Rockefeller?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, what are the people who I think have influenced me in a very positive way?
Am I one of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that, like, you and David both, like, really expanded my horizons. Like, what, like, more, like, intellectual pursuits could offer. That wasn't really something that my parents had emphasized.
Yeah,
Like, Dad wanted me to be a salesman.
Yeah. Blue-collar parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's just easier to expand the minds of people who already are super open, so it's like easier. So I've noticed this is oftentimes easier to change the lives of Harvard students than it is to change the lives of UW students, simply because Harvard students tend to be more gutsy.
They tend to be more what?
More gutsy or more open. Especially like they're more internationalized or nationalized, they have a more global perspective.
Yeah. I think someone like Rebecca English also.
Oh yeah, I remember. Didn't you date her?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and she was friendly, and she was in our same science class.
That's right. Yeah. Class.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Name all the people we can from the class. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you said let's name all the people that we can.
Yeah.
Okay. There is Jessica Sy.
Yeah, I remember. Her memories of us were not very strong. Did she? And she didn't go to the reunion either.
I remember once you sent me a note that said, "Do you see that girl?"
A list of all girls I had crushes on.
You said, "I want to see pics of her."
Pics.
And then you sent another note that said, "Real pics."
No, I once made a list of all the girls I had crushes on, except there were like mini crushes, and none of them compared with my first real crush.
Ratty?
Yeah, let's go to the Ratty first. Do you ever visit yeah, I don't know. Undergrads, like, even if Brown's a typical undergrad isn't the most open, but there are some who are still interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think at any school there's going to be a certain percentage. It's just that that sort of ratio is what changes. But
yeah.
They're still they're very bright people here. Like, obviously.
Well, some are bright, but also just really distracted. Like, Melanie Johnson is the perfect example of this.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of who was in that class. Innie Lung was there.
Yvonne? What Yvonne?
Innie
Lung?
Yeah.
How's she doing now?
I didn't see her.
Okay.
Was Melanie Zhang in that class?
No, Innie Lung. Oh yeah, Innie was in Emory's, yes. Melanie, no, I don't think she was in that class. Melanie just heard me. I remember randomly running her into her in the 372 bus, and I started to act super weird in front of her, and she was like amused, so whatever.
Melanie was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in TOK she was dating a
Oh
boy
God.
in another school.
Oh God.
And she bought him a Nintendo Wii.
Holy shit! What's other school?
I think he must have gone to like Woodinville.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like people aren't allowed to talk to people in other schools, and it's like one of the most limiting things that comes out of high school.
Yeah. It's really strange. I really liked to go to the football games.
Yeah.
So that I could go to the other stands and like meet people
Yeah.
who wanted to like just talk.
Football games.
Yeah, I mean, like I would never watch the games. I would just walk to the opposing team stands and like people would start talking to you because that's, I mean. Yeah. Did you ever go to a football game?
No, those are a total waste. And because I was obsessed with prestige, I saw those as a way. People were there's too degenerate too. Because I always felt my house classmates holding me back, even though they weren't. But I mean, at the time, following their leads seemed guaranteed too. But I actually realize now that no matter what happens, I have natural talents that most other people don't have, and as long as I have freedom, because the fact that I'm on the internet, for example, is going to lead me to be greater than almost everyone in our school, anyways, irrespective of whatever the hell happens. But that's very low standards.
Yeah.
Like even being more famous or greater successful than most Harvard students is actually pretty low standards.
Yeah, you should. I mean, like when I was really young, I remember my mom was like concerned about getting fat, and we went to the grocery store, and I was.
Oh my god, yeah! I used to like pluck my hair and skin so much, but now I'm like, holy shit! I don't know. I'm lucky. I'm genetically lucky in some ways, and I should have realized that earlier. But except in very unusual ways. Like, still not good enough to pass that fucking COGAT.
The what? The COGAT.
Yes. The evils of school that shall never be forgotten.
Do you follow the test refusal movement at all?
No, I've actually been I'm pretty pro standardized tests, especially College Board ones.
I think that it's a useful.
It's a great equalizer. If you've heard of Charles Murray.
Charles Murray.
The yes.
Bell curve guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have read him.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you cannot be a poli-sci PhD student without reading Charles Murray. You literally cannot. Okay, it's towards the end, so I wonder how hard we'll be sneaking. Let's see here. Sometimes words are acting. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Did you yell that?
Yeah. Skill. It's a skill. But I want to try it anyways.
I'm gonna try going in another way.
Wow, the Ivy Room.
What's the Ivy Room?
Oh. I don't know. Anyways, there's other ways around. We need to talk here. Yeah, so.
See if anyone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So. Thank you.